Welcome everybody to the Two-Way Street Virtual Coffee House. My name is John and I'm your host tonight. The Two-Way Street Coffee House has been providing live music on Friday nights for over 50 years. I have not been there the whole 50 years. We're an all-volunteer staff, and due to the COVID though, we've gone to this live stream format. And for anybody who has been to the coffee house, my virtual background is as though you're looking at the stage at the Two-Way Street Coffee House in Downers Grove, Illinois. Tonight, we have Mustard's Retreat coming from somewhere out in their virtual world. I believe they're in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. Just to let you know, there's no performance fee. There's no guy at the door. It's strictly your donations is how they're going to be paid tonight. You can donate on the Two-Way Street website, twowaystreet.org, and there's a button there, a red button there that says donate to the artist. So please be as generous as you can, because like I say, they're paying for your donations. All of the donations, like I say, from that red button go to Mustard's Retreat. We use PayPal, so you can either use your PayPal account or you can use a debit or a credit card with the PayPal, because it's pretty easy to do. Even I know how to do that. So with that, let's bring in Libby and David, also known as Mustard's Retreat, and welcome to the Two-Way Street Virtual Coffee House. Take it away, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And Tim, is it possible for you to make it possible for me to record this as well? If you can do that, that would be great. That's the host. And if not, we can get it later. So
here we are together again.
Here we are. You know, this is 9 o'clock East Coast time. So we thank all you people out there on East Coast time who are staying up. There's my mom.
Hello, Mom.
There's my mom from Connecticut.
Love you.
She's going to be 93. She's up for the concert tonight. So we are excited about being back in virtually in Chicago. I probably could talk for half an hour about Chicago tonight, but I'm going to say a few things about it. But this is we're going to start out with a song from one of your own. This was kind of a minor folk hit in the 1970s. And written by the great Tom Dundee. Tom Dundee. It's called A Delicate Balance. Deep within there is a vision. Time is nothing but space. And between every minute and mile that is in it, somehow there is a beautiful face. And it's all such a delicate balance that the sport of infinity gives. Expectations we have can lead down that path where that devil discouragement lives. I dreamed I was barer than naked, and it scared me so bad that I called. Help me back to the prison with the chains of the living, although nothing had hurt me at all. And it's all such a delicate balance as it turns through the circles of air. To worry does nothing but steals from the loving and robs from the pleasure that's there. To worry does nothing but steals from the loving and robs from the pleasure that's there. Deep within there is a feeling, love and understanding is the door, and honesty is the key given to you and me. Open it to so many more, and it's all such a delicate balance. It takes away just as much as it gives, and to live it is real, and to love it is to feel that you're a part of what everything is. And it's all such a delicate balance. It takes away just as much as it gives. And to live it is real, and to love it is to feel that you're a part of what everything is. Tom Dundee wrote that song. And John, it's so great seeing you and seeing that stage in back of you, and just thinking of 50 years of performers. I don't know how many times Tom Dundee was on that stage, and how many times that song was sung in that room. But it's great to see. So I am going to do a little spiel about Chicago, because we started singing together in 1975, and we were singing in bars. And by now the early 80s, I wanted to do concerts, and we stopped doing bars, and I went to work booking and managing other artists. And the first person I worked signed was Greg Brown, and then Claudia Schmidt, and big names in the Chicago market, and worked with Stan Rogers and Kate Wolf and Utah Phillips, and many people. Worked a lot with Eddie Holstein at Holstein's there. But by the 80s, the folk boom across the country had, on the West Coast and the East Coast, it had kind of stopped. There was comedy and urban cowboy and disco, but the Midwest held on to its folk music, and Chicago was really the center. And there were, to me, this is my experience, there are three markets: Detroit, Ann Arbor, which has the Arc, and Chicago, which had so many clubs, including Holstein's. That's who I worked with mostly. And then up in Minneapolis, they had the Coffee House Extemp, and Garrison Keillor, by the late 70s, was going national with his show, and he had a whole lot of folk people on who would come and play on his show and then go over and play at the Extemp. And one key thing for all those places is that they had great radio support. In Detroit, in Michigan, it was WDET in Detroit, and it had Larry McDaniels doing the Arkansas Traveler, and Robert Jones doing Blues from the Lowland, and Matt Watroba doing Folks Like Us. And in Minneapolis, of course, there was Minnesota Public Radio with Garrison Keillor, and in Chicago. And I'll mention Wisconsin, because Wisconsin still has this remarkable system, Wisconsin Public Radio. We went and we played in Wisconsin, and they came and recorded us in La Crosse, and they rebroadcast the concert, and people knew us all over Wisconsin because they have all these repeaters. But in Chicago, there are several great stations, but the longest running and most influential, and it's on commercial radio to boot, WFMT, the Midnight Special, Rich Warren. He has done so much for keeping this music going, and we'll dedicate this to him tonight. It was when I got to, sorry, I just have to, I have to talk. So when I got to Michigan in 1970, I had just gotten the folk music bug, and I went to on Liberty Street. There was a used record store called Wazoo Records, and I went in and I looked in the folk bin, and there was an album called Get Folked, and I said, yeah, this is for me. And it was from a coffee house that's still going in some form, I believe, up in Rockford, Illinois, called Charlotte's Web, and had just a whole bunch of great singers on it, including this man named Richard Tinney. Richard still lives up in Milwaukee, and this was another kind of underground folk hit. It never hit radio big time, but everybody knew it in the 70s.
We've been singing this song since 1975. For you tonight, Motherlode.
Oh, let's just
Gotta get it right.
Whoops. And what happens when you turn the wrong the wrong string?
Well, we tune because we care. So bear with us.
Right off the Get Folked album. You can find it out there on eBay, and I think it's still maybe on iTunes. Well worth getting. I've got beggars on my trail, leaning a ragged railing to hold me while I'm ailing again. And if I think in code, find that mother lode, I'll be back on again. You may know me when I've been blessed, and I give you a song, and I'm gone with the rest. Save a place in the corner, leave the key by the door, and I will leave in jubilation, be returning for some more. But your face is froze across, long ago been frosted over, and it looks unreal. When I doubt your mind, I'm pulled along by kind of the spirit, and it makes me feel. You may know me when I've been blessed, and I give you a song, and I'm gone with the rest. Save a place in the corner, leave the key by the door, and I will leave in jubilation, be returning for some more. Now I've got beggars on my trail, leaning a ragged railing to hold me while I'm ailing again. And if I think in code, find that mother lode, I'll be back on again. You may know me when I've been blessed, and I give you a song, and I'm gone with the rest. Save a place in the corner, leave the key by the door, and I will leave in jubilation, be returning for some more.
Mother Lode.
Richard Penny. I thought I was the only one in the world who knew that song, all except for Richard. And then I was in at a conference in the late '80s down in Columbus, Ohio. And there was an artist up doing a sound check, and she sang that song. I was like, what? And then I found out how popular it had been. Again, probably sung many times on that stage. So we're going to do a couple of that doesn't sound good. A couple of our own tunes.
It's hard. All these years, hundreds of well-written songs by you, David, and certainly Michael Huff. And it's hard to put a set full of just 15 songs sometimes for you people, but
I know, and
we do it differently every show. We never do the same show.
Yeah, we've done over 7,000 shows and never done the same show twice. It's just.
But we did this just for you. To bottom.
And we do this just for you. Well, it's hard times in this winter city, though the falling snow kind of makes it look pretty. Colored lights, Christmas coming on, well, they shine like stars and then they're gone. Sidewalks echo full of restless feet that are keeping time with that city beat. Now old Joe's got a steel guitar, used to make his living playing in the bars. Now he spends his time at the park, playing for nickels from dawn to dark. Night finds him sleeping out on the street. Well, he's just a part of that city beat. Too little hope, too little sky, but dreams are the wings on which we fly. And the alleys they whisper, neighborhoods talk, and somewhere in the middle down the pavement I walk. Somebody's singing, next block down. I can't hear the words, but there's joy in that sound. And past the dark edge of sorrow, it smiles like a friend, and it lifts my feet as I get moving again. The melody lingers, it's both bitter and sweet, singing out the rhythm of that city beat. Too little hope, too little sky, but dreams are the wings on which we fly. And the alleys they whisper, neighborhoods talk, and somewhere in the middle down the pavement I walk. Well, the morning's hazy, full of fog and steam. It swirls and disappears like some elusive dream. And the city fills in a long, deep breath, and it takes you in and you do your best. The story's always changing as it plays and repeats, and it keeps in time with that city beat. Black cat crossed my path today. I was restless, down and blue. I wasn't looking for an answer. I was just hoping for a clue. The cat said, I learned this long ago. It's a truth that you can trust. Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the truck. Do yourself a favor and make your own luck. Like a house of cards on a windy day, like a slap upside the head. Stayed there for a moment, thinking about what that cat had said. Slowly I began to grin, which turned into a laugh. So I gathered up my attitude, threw it in the trash. Make your own luck when you're tired and beat. Step up to the plate, swing for the seats. Divine intervention may well be the clue. Make your own luck, luck will find you. Make your own luck, give fate a nod. If you're still in the race, then you're beating the odds. To pull yourself through takes courage and pluck. While you're at it, trying to make your own luck. Spend time rolling down that lonesome blue highway. Sometimes it helps to visit, but rent your rooms there by the day. You may find all you really need is just a little nip and tuck. Oh, life can be a wild ride, so saddle up and buck. If you're looking for change, you don't have to look far. It's not round the corner, it's right where you are. If you're caught in the rain, you be a duck. Ruffle up some feathers and make your own luck. Make your own luck, first you've got to apply. Stick out a thumb, you may get a ride. In the end you will find when it's all said and through. Make your own luck, luck will find you. Just like that. So yes, a lot of years of touring, and there are things that stick out in the memory. And it was the writing of this song. This is one of the early songs I wrote after a wonderful experience up in Rhinelander, another station that kept folk music alive. WXPR, they're still going up there. Our first tour in Wisconsin, one of the shows was in Rhinelander. We were invited to be part of the radio station in town's potluck and fall dance. And we ended up being the entertainment between the potluck and the dance. And it was great. There were several generations of people there. And it just so struck me about the community here in folk music. And it's so great that we can Zoom, these days. And that's our favorite part, is when we get to see you and talk to you all. So I hope you'll stick around afterwards and we can do a little bit of that. But as I knew this song was in there, and we were driving back home, about 6 months later, I was in the back seat of the car trying to sleep, and right by Rockford, and it was the 4th of July weekend. And all I could do is just watch out the back window and watch all the fireworks going off. It's a memory. That's quite a memory. So I wrote this song. There's a dance tonight underneath the harvest moon. Oh, honey, won't you come along with me? Your folks will watch the kids. We can dance the way we did back when you were shy and I was 23. You were lovely sight to see, dancing every dance with me. And that cotton dress you'd wear match the flowers in your hair. And there's a magic in the night with the moon shining so bright. Oh, honey, won't you come along with me? Off the floor and back again, a long-time lovers, best of friends through the changes and the years we have remained. And what was spark is now aglow, waiting only breath to blow it, like kindling once again into a flame. Summer leans into the fall, full of stories to recall, apple wine and autumn wind in the company of friends. And let the music fine and sweet lift the years from off our feet, and remember times we'll never see again. And there's a dance tonight underneath the harvest moon. Oh, honey, won't you come along with me? Your folks will watch the kids. We can't dance the way we did back when you were shy and I was 23. You were a lovely sight to see, dancing every dance with me. And that cotton dress you'd wear matched the flowers in your hair. And there's a magic in the night with the moon shining so bright. Oh, honey, won't you come along with me? So
This next song is it's a request.
you know, this is a Libby request, but it's also a Chicago request. Back in the Eugene Field, born in St. Louis around the time of the Civil War, right before the Civil War, never could bring himself. He's like a real artist. He never could really apply himself to any kind of jobs
That paid money.
yeah. And he let me get this right. So he came to Chicago, and he worked 1883. He worked for the Chicago Daily News, writing humorous little things. And he lived over in Buena Park, near North Clarendon and West Hutchinson. I've never been over there, but I hear it's a beautiful place. But in 1879, he started writing poetry, and he became. This is in the day where this is before internet, before TV, before radio, when press was the medium, the written word, and he became incredibly well known. Eugene Field was called the poet of childhood. And there, down at the zoo there in Chicago, there's a statue from one of his poems. This poem has got a couple of statues around the country. There are elementary schools all over, including in Chicago, named after him. And he wrote a lot of great poems, including the Gingham Dog and the Calico Cat. But this one is my favorite. Winking and blinking, not one night, sailed off in a wooden shoe. Sailed on a river of crystal light into a sea of dew. Where are you going and what do you wish? The old moon asked the three. We have come to fish for the herring fish that live in the beautiful sea. That's of silver and gold have we. blinking, blinking at night. The old moon laughed and sang a song as they rocked in the wooden shoe, and the wind sped them all night long, ruffled the sea of dew. The little stars were the herring fish that lived in the beautiful sea. Now cast your nets wherever you wish, never a fear to weed. So cried the stars to the fishermen three, blinking, blinking at night. All night long their nets they cast to the stars in the twinkling foam. Then down from the sky came the wooden shoe, bringing the fishermen home. So so lovely a sail it seemed, as if it could never be. And some folk thought 'twas a dream they dreamed of, sailing that beautiful sea. But I shall name you fishermen three, waking and blinking at night. Waking and blinking are two little eyes, and nod is a little head, and the wooden shoe that sailed the skies, a wee one's trundle bed. So shut your eyes now as mother sings of wonderful sights to be. You will see all those beautiful things as you rock on a misty sea, where the old shoe rocked the fishermen three, winking and blinking at night.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah. So Chicago, my father's side of the family immigrated from Lithuania.
That would be the Tamuleviches?
Tamuleviches, a little over 100 years ago. And the biggest population of Lithuanians outside of Lithuania is in Chicago. And I've gotten to know many of them going to Lithuanian camp in the summer and trying to learn to speak Lithuanian a bit. So this is for all the Lithuanians there. There's lots of stories, but there's a center called the Beggars Center, a Lithuanian museum and genealogical service. And my family had lost track of the folks back in Lithuania back in 1929. And we didn't know if anybody was still alive, and we had a chance to go over there and tour in 2011. And I went to the Beggars Center, and I actually found family over there. It's been great. And if any of you are getting to watch this, Cape Tau, how are you? And this there's so much history, but before the Second World War, it was during the Second World War, Russia took Lithuania over and began shipping folks out to Siberia, basically in cattle cars. And then Germany came in, and which seemed initially like salvation for the Lithuanians after the Russians. And the Russians came back for 50 years. And they shipped a lot of people, including my relatives, out to Siberia to the work camps. And my relatives survived and got to come back. And this is a song that kind of celebrates the resilience of people in Lithuania getting torn apart from the land and the people they loved, and how they persevered. Oh, I'll tell you, it's called The Whisper of the Stars. And in Siberia, when it's below 50 degrees, you talk below zero, 50 degrees below zero. You talk, and your words form ice crystals as they come out of your mouth. It's so cold. And they fall to the ground, and the sound of them falling is called The Whisper of the Stars. The loneliness and cold here are profound. Words stumble from your lips, freeze, tumble to the ground. They chime like bells immediate yet far. It's known here as the whisper of the stars. Lost in evening quiet, it's the only time I'm free. And I remember thoughts I treasure, how things used to be. I don't think about tomorrow, I just think on where you are, and hear the song that my heart sings in the whisper of the stars. In the railway yards of Vilnius that spring day, torn from your embrace and shipped away. But love itself is still its own reward, and I remember in the whisper of the stars. Bright and cold this morning, I look forward to day's end, when I will find those moments to be with you once again. Your eyes told me all my heart needed to know, and I hold that image close in the candle glow. I speak your name aloud across the night, and in the whisper of the stars, it's nearly right. Where time and soul and spirit will unwind in the vastness here among the lakes and pine. But in the whisper of the stars I find it's true, there's no distance between me and you. I can't think about tomorrow, I just think on where you are, and hear the song that my heart sings in the whisper of the stars, and hear the song that my heart sings in the whisper of the stars. Whisper of the stars.
We're doing all my favorite songs. How did that happen?
So here's another Chicagoland story. Fox Valley Folk Festival, the one and only time. We started the show out with a song by Tom Dundee. I always thought Tom was great. He was on that Charlotte's Web album. That's how I found out about him. And he moved out to Seattle for a while, came back to Chicago. We had the opportunity of doing the Fox Valley Festival, Labor Day weekend. And I think it's going to be on this year. I hope so. Thanks to all the volunteers and Jewel Olven out there. And he actually put Tom Dundee and I on a workshop stage together. There were four of us. But you know, I'm kind of nervous in front of one of my long-term heroes. So I forget what the topic was. I did this song. Tom kind of looked over from down the stage and he said, "Just when I started to like the boy." I figured I'd done good. In the heart of the winter, the year I turned 10, my father he took sick and died. With a scratchy old farm, 6 kids in lean times, Mama fought pretty hard to get by. Spring was turning to summer when a man came traveling through. Said he'd work till the harvest was all stored away, and then meals in a room it would do. It was that or the banks, so my mom signed him on. His name it was Jeremy Brown. On the front porch we'd gather when dinner was done and the evening was settling down. And he'd tell us his stories traveling, sing of old friends and places he'd been. And he mended our hearts on those long summer nights and taught me to smile once again. He'd sing, "There's a time and a place for goodbyes. It's a sad and a sweet thing to cry, yes, to cry how I've cried. But the answers, they'll come by and by." He worked hard as 2 men, was quick with a grin, though a distance remained in his eyes. And he never did say why he took to the road, and we knew well enough not to pry. But he understood how I was feeling, or at least to me, that's how it seemed. And late in the night, as I lay in my bed, his songs, they'd run through my dreams, singing, "There's a time and a place for goodbyes. It's a sad and a sweet thing to cry, yes, to cry how I've cried. But the answers, they'll come by and by." October it came, the last corn was in, and Jeremy packed up to go. Heading down south was about all he would say. If he'd be back, he just didn't know. But I think that I knew as he held me, when somehow I could smile through the tears, that if I needed a friend, I would find him again in the song that I've sung all these years. I sing, "There's a time and a place for goodbyes. It's a sad and a sweet thing to cry, yes, to cry how I've cried. And the answers, they've come by and by." There's a time and a place for goodbyes. It's a sad and a sweet thing to cry, yes, to cry how I've cried. But the answers, they'll come by and by. Jeremy Brown.
Jeremy Brown.
Hey, so I originally come from Connecticut, and that's really what a great thing about Zoom. I mean, I've seen people that I went to high school with 50 years ago, and I've seen more of them this year than I've seen in the past 50 years. It's great. It's great. Great people from all over the country. I mean, it's really, it's a community here. And even when
Zoom, the community over here, Columbus, Ohio, say, or anywhere, they're all in the same room together, talking to each other. And that's disconcerting for us because we're used to seeing them in Columbus, Ohio. But it's wonderful to see everybody and just to know that we're all out there for each other. It's very, very important these days.
It is very important. I mean, you folks really, really make a difference. And I'm not just making a pitch for donations. I mean, you're really, we always say,
important work.
Right.
Music to cure what ails you, and people don't feel so good. Things are getting better. Things are getting much better. And we cannot wait to see you in person again. That's for real.
I know it. So I come from Connecticut. My little town is called Branford. I know there are at least several people watching tonight from Branford. It's about 100 miles east of New York City, 10 miles east of New Haven. And on the western end of Branford, it's right along Long Island Sound. There's a little burb called, part of Branford called Stony Creek. And off Stony Creek are the Thimble Islands. Beautiful pink granite islands. Long history, but one of the historical things is that Captain Kidd hung out there for a couple of months back in the 1690s before he was captured and hung. And this is there are all these rumors about Kidd's buried treasure, and people still come to find it. And this is about a guy who, a relative of mine who it could have happened, could have been shanghaied by the British, ended up sailing with Captain Kidd and being left to guard the treasure that has never been found. It's called the Thimble Island Ghost. Oh, my name is George Lindsley. I lived here long ago. My father was a lobsterman out of Lamphier's Cove. From Brantford up to Sachem's Head, for oysters and for clams, till a British frigate caught us, and I was a pressed man. The year was 1694, a kingship came around and boarded father's fishing boat out on Long Island Sound. The boatswain said, here's a fine lad, we'll take him on board. Now you're in the service of the king and the articles of war. Heave away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Heave away, me boys, and let her go. Well, I was young and reckless, and I wanted liberty. And service on a kingship is one step from slavery. We captured a French smuggler out on the open sea. The captain named a prize crew off, and that included me. But we were taken off Montauk Point as the wind began to lag by a swift and well-armed sloop of war that hoisted the black flag. The pirates gave us all a choice to sink or join their crew. I never gave it half a thought about what I would do. Heave away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Heave away, me boys, and let her go. Heave away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Heave away, me boys, and let her go. Well, we sailed halfway around the world, which was just fine with me. We were 100 men, but brothers in a crude democracy. The pirates lived for freedom, both ashore and afloat. And we each got an equal share, and every man a vote. Now I'm not going to tell you of all the things we did, but I'll reveal that my last duty was I sailed with Captain Kidd. We buried his gold treasure, but with bones it had to lie. So we all cast lots, and in the end, it was me who had to die. Heave away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Heave away, me boys, and let her go. For 300 years now, this has been my fate, to roam these Thimble Islands and keep watch on this place. If the treasure's found, my freedom's gained. On a wild spree, I'll be bound. But my heart will always bring me home to these islands on the Sound. Every decade now I toss some silver out into the tide. The summer people come in search, sometimes they will find. It amuses me to watch them work. It preserves the mystery, and I like their jokes and laughter and enjoy the company. Heave away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Heave away, me boys, let her go. Heave away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Heave away, me boys, let her go. Okay, you know what, Libby? I think we are running out of time. So
Oh, don't talk. No, let's keep going.
no, let's keep going with Sold It.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'm sorry I was so talkative tonight, but there's so much so much history of Chicago, and it's just a wonderful community there, and
Pee or something.
yeah.
We do this every time.
I know our guitars are tuned differently.
So this
All
is
right,
in
Gene.
regular tuning.
All right, regular tune?
Yes, I believe this is in regular tuning. So this would be an A. Surprise.
Okay.
That help? Maybe I'll was that.
You know, we just went over this the other day, and I wrote it down. So
But I just took it up one, so sorry.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, folks. You're gonna be glad we got this right.
Got it?
So, you know, okay, B, C, D, G, B, C.
The song was written by Ken Gaines.
No, I am. I'm sorry about this.
Okay. I think you're close though. One more.
All right, there we go.
It's funny, the song is perfect for that.
That's right.
There's a price that we pay for the way that we live, and there's a price that we place on our own precious time. Some sell themselves dearly, some give it all away, something without a reason or rhyme. And the hardest lesson I learned in this life is how to get out of my way, to step into the moment, step into the light, let nothing take that away. Some sell themselves for money, some sell themselves for love, some sell themselves for pleasure, or some power from above. But if my grandchildren wonder what I did with my life, I sold it for a song. Well, I don't know the answers to a single blessed thing. I don't know who we are, where we come from, or why. It just fills up the holes in my soul when I sing. So I'll just keep doing what I love. Some sell themselves for money, some sell themselves for love, some sell themselves for pleasure, or some power from above. But if my grandchildren wonder what I did with my life, I sold it for a song. There's a price that we pay for the way that we live, and there's a price that we place on our own precious time. Some sell themselves dearly, some give it all away, something without reason or rhyme. Ken Gaines, thank you so much.
All the first songs. So Libby, we've got 5 more songs planned for tonight. And we've already hit the hour mark.
Well,
So I think we should do one more. Fatal or Trouble for You.
trouble for you, I guess.
Okay.
This
So
one goes back a long ways, a long time for us too.
I don't know how many people remember Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson, to me, was kind of the prototype of the contemporary singer-songwriter after the 60s, 70s. He was the last person to join the Chad Mitchell Trio, where John Denver was already a member, and they had a group called Denver, Boyce and Johnson. And then he decided to go out on his own, and he made a seminal album called There Is a Breeze That People Still Swear By, I Swear By It. And his next album was For All You Mad Musicians. Extraordinary album. And then he went on to have hits starting in 1989 with Bluer Than Blue. He had nine top 10 hits. But it's his folkier stuff.
We haven't put this song out on stage for many years. This is gonna.
So this is, and Michael was pretty popular in Chicago. So some of you may remember him. It's called Troubled for You. Yeah.
I see in my mind's eye David and I as young 20-somethings when we first started singing this song. And here we are.
Yeah, so we'll remind you again, we're going to do one last song, and then we've asked Joel and Jennifer to do a couple of tunes, and then we're going to do something else. Maybe we'll do a round robin with them for a bit. Yeah, so this is a song off. Michael didn't write this one, but he was famous for it. I've troubled for you from time to time. That's why nothing new can break the bind. It's the time you waste for them that makes a friend, unique in all the world until the end. We've traveled for years through mindless miles, shed some tears through aimless trials. And though you're old and worn, you're the only home I've known, through memories stretched beyond so many dawns. Find it hard to believe that time brings change. Now all of my friends are broken with age, but what's essential you cannot see. I'm responsible for my friends and they for me. I've troubled for you from time to time. That's why nothing new can break the bind. It's the time you waste for them that makes a friend, unique in all the world until the end. Unique in all the world until the end. Thank you. This is Libby Glover. I'm David Tamulevich. We're Mustard Retreat on the Defiantly Hopeful tour, and we're going to take just a couple minutes. John, we'll turn it back to you, and then we'll be back.
Okay. Wow. What a great hour. You know, and it sounds like you could just go all night with song upon song upon song.
We could.
Yikes. You know, you got to take your opportunity when you can. Just to let everybody know, for anybody who came in late, these guys are playing for your donations. You donate to the twowaystreetcoffeehouse.org website. There's a button to push that says donate to the artist. And so hopefully nobody will just kind of slip out on here without making a nice donation. Just to let you know, next week, May the 14th, we have a guy from Chicago. His name is Jim Kennis, and he'll be performing in our regular Friday night spot. And you can, of course, if you've been able to find him, you just go to the twowaystreet.org website. You can either click on the button there for the show, or you can go to Facebook. You can go to YouTube. And again, it's from 8 to 9 o'clock Central Time. And I've given up trying to remember whether it's daylight time or standard time. We'll just call it Central Time. Also, on this coming Tuesday, on the 11th, on a Tuesday, we've got a what we call a virtual song circle. And that is, again, it's a Zoom get-together, virtual get-together. That's Tuesday from 7 until 9. You'll go to the twowaystreet.org. You'll find your connection there. It gives you a chance, if you've got a new song you want to try, that you want to play in public, maybe for the first time. Doesn't have to be original, but it could be just something that you have dreamed up. I've actually done that, and nobody booed me off the stage. So anyway, nobody ever gets out of the Two-Way Street Coffee House without an encore. So David and Libby, do you have one more song, and then we can we'll end the broadcast, and you guys can continue to party on with all the people?
Well, great. Well, I suppose we should do, yes, we should do Simple Faith.
Yeah.
This is for Joel out there who asked me about it. Written
It's
right
great
here.
to be a part of this song. This song has got its own legacy going forward, and it's just wonderful, David, that you wrote it, and that it's inspiring, and that I get a chance to sing along with you. Really, very exciting.
Yeah, well, I wrote it right in this room, about 2 feet from where I'm standing, and in despair, in November of 2004, after the presidential election, and thinking how is it ever going to get any worse? Things are so mean, and of course it did, which is why we're on the Defiantly Hopeful tour. But I felt like there had to be that. Maybe it was just in our community, and all of us, and in the folk world. I just thought there was a whole lot more common ground, and I was looking for something beyond religion, beyond politics. I was fortunate enough to get the song. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. No room in this heart for fear, no judgment day drawing near. Trust that inner voice you hear every day. Life's not a goal or race, it's about heart and faith and living a life of grace every day. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. Trust is an open hand, making an honest stand, rooted here in the land every day. Live in the mystery, seeking the harmony here between you and me every day. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day.
Thank you, Chicago. Thank you, 2 Street.
Thank you so much. And John, anything more you have to say now, or
Well, no, I think I'm pretty well all talked out, but I understand the party is just beginning.
yes?
So I'm going to bow out. I believe I'm going to kick it over to Joel and Jennifer, and they can pick it up from here. And I had a really good time, and thanks everybody for coming.
John and
Don't
Tim, thank you.
don't
Thank you,
forget to
John,
donate.
Ramsey.